Hey Eric, great content as usual. When I was listening to the presentation that you gave, I was taking some notes as you were speaking, and I wrote down some ideas around the platforms that you mentioned towards the beginning of your presentation. And when I heard you say Instagram and WhatsApp mentioned, that kind of struck me as like, wow, really? Like we can use those kinds of platforms for healthcare? Because I know in my health system, we use an app on our phones to communicate between nurses and physicians only, and it's very HIPAA safe and compliant. It's called AMS Connect, and I just never would have thought that Instagram or something like WhatsApp or something like that could be used for this kind of stuff. So that was neat to hear. But moving on from that, it seems like a common theme in this whole talk about is the savings that these services can provide. And with that, I also looked up a few other positives and negatives, as stated by a telehealth provider company called Tiger Connect. And so on their website, they highlight the cost savings as mentioned below by one of my other references that I'll talk about in a bit. They're called Regents, and they talk about a cost savings of $100, an average of $100 per visit versus in person, and that's a pretty significant savings. When you're talking about elderly or people that may be on fixed incomes, so that's a very important thing. But aside from just savings, they also talk about of course, the time saving that it takes, as opposed to going to a doctor's office. You can just pull up your phone or your tablet and get your medical care. But it's also ease of location. You don't actually physically have to go in for most things. But some of the other negatives, they also talked about barriers and understanding of technology. And I know that just day to day in my facility, some of my more senior nurses, they really struggle with the use of technology in our healthcare systems, the EHRs, the scheduling systems, and things of that nature. So I know that technology is definitely a problem for some folks, but also Tiger Connect talked about limits in licensing among states that allow telehealth. So basically what they're talking about is nursing, the nurses only being able to have licenses in their areas. I know there's compact license, stuff like that, but I'm not really sure how that would play out. But as I said about cost savings, I was looking at where they got that information from on Tiger Connect, and it came from this insurance company called Regents. They are a provider of insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield, to about 2.4 million customers in the Northwest states such as Utah and Oregon. And so they were the ones that showed an average of $100 per visit in cost savings. And just out of curiosity, I posed this question just to myself, based around those folks out there that whether they don't like technology, or those that struggle to understand it. I was thinking, is telehealth, or would telehealth, or telenursing, or however how you want to phrase it, would that be more trusted or just as trusted as the in-person visit? Time and time again, nursing is talked about as the most trusted profession. And so I kind of posed that question to myself, and I tried to look up some analytics around that topic. I was unsuccessful in finding anything. I think it's something interesting to ponder on. Technology can be very frustrating for some people, and as much as it is a fantastic to make things easy and moving forward, I wonder if that's going to be an issue for some folks. And if it is, that keeps us all in jobs, right? Thanks, Eric. Talk to you later.